The Princess and the Pea. Retold by Matthew Oldham, illustrated by Lorena Alverez, and read by Aubrey Forbes. The Princess and the Pea. There was once a young prince who loved going on adventures. He was good at finding treasure, he was very good at rescuing people, and he was very, very good at fighting dragons. But when the prince came back home, he felt sad. I wish I had someone to share my adventures with, he said to himself. One day he had an idea. I will find someone to marry, he cried. He asked his parents for help. They were the king and queen, after all. I want to get married. His parents were delighted. We'll help you find the perfect princess, said the king, and he thought, at last. The king and queen wrote to every princess in the world. Royal servants set off to deliver the invitations. Princess map, and these are all the princesses. There's a lot of them around the world in this book. Dozens of princesses came to the palace to meet the prince. Some came with lots of servants. Princess wanted. Some came dripping with diamonds. One even came riding an elephant. That's that big old elephant. He looked so happy. The prince tried to tell them about his adventures, but they were only interested in his treasure. They don't seem like real princesses to me, he sighed. Real princesses should want excitement and adventure. The king and queen called their best inventors to a meeting. We need a test, the queen demanded, to find a real princess. The inventors tried all sorts of different tests, but none of their ideas worked. Then one inventor said, I know how to find a real princess. The prince stepped forward. How? Two servants pulled back an enormous sheet to reveal a very unusual bed with a tower of mattresses. This is the finishing touch, said the inventor. She put a dried pea in the prince's hand. How will this help? Asked the prince, giving back the pea. A real princess notices everything around her, explained the inventor. She will be able to feel this pea through all these mattresses. The prince invited more princesses to the palace, but none of them passed his test. In the morning, each of them declared, What a comfortable bed! Such a lovely sleep. The prince felt sad again. After a while, the princesses stopped coming. The prince seemed too hard to please. Princess wanted. The prince gave up hope too. He thought he'd never find someone to marry. Then late one night, it's all rainy and dark. Kaboom! Thunder crashed, lightning flashed, rain fell in big fat drops. What was that? Through the noise of the storm, the prince heard a thump on the door. Thump, thump. A wet, shivering girl stood on the palace doorstep. I was caught in the storm, said the girl. May I shelter here tonight? The girl's sweet voice charmed the prince. He didn't notice her tangled hair or muddy clothes. You may stay for as long as you like, said the prince. Squeak, squelch, squelch. As the girl warmed up, The prince told her all about his adventures. The girl listened to every word. All this talking made the prince feel sleepy. Soon he couldn't keep his eyes open. When the prince woke up, he was alone. The girl had gone. The next morning, the prince stared gloomily at his breakfast. "Why not go on another adventure?" asked the queen. "That will cheer you up." The prince sighed. He didn't want to go on another adventure all alone. Just then, the girl walked in. The prince jumped up. "Where have you been?" he asked. "After you fell asleep, I looked for a bed," she replied. "The one I found was very tall. I had to climb in using a ladder." "Oh," said the prince, surprised. How did you sleep?" "Not very well," answered the girl. "I think you need a new bed. That one has a hard lump in the middle." The king threw up his hands. The queen fell off her chair. "Oh!" The prince's face turned pale as he stared at the girl. "You're a real princess," he gasped. Now the princess looked surprised too. "How did you know?" she asked. When the prince told her about the pea, the princess started to giggle. "I've been looking for a real prince," she said. "I've journeyed from palace to palace, looking for a brave prince," the princess explained. "Everyone has turned me away, except for you." The real prince married the real princess the very next day. The prince and princess never stopped having adventures. They built a museum for all the treasure they found. In the middle, they put a pea in a beautiful crystal case. It may still be there today.